Go to Matthew 27. You all know the story of what happened. We're picking it up. Then Judas, his betrayer, seeing that he had been condemned, he's talking about Jesus, was remorseful. That word remorseful, some translate it as tormented by inner guilt. Some translations said he repented of his action, which is to change his mind. Here it says remorseful, meaning that he was sorry. Now, some theologians put it this way: Judas, even though he wanted the money that 30 pieces silver, well, I guess that day was a lot of money, but it wasn't a whole lot. But in his thinking, to give some credit based on some takes on it, was that knowing that Christ was the Son of God, he did not fully believe that he would be crucified or hung, but believed that somehow at the last Jesus would turn that thing around and overturn and throw them all down, and he would walk out free, and Judas would have still, I delivered him to you. It's your fault that you couldn't keep it. So he's going to have the money for delivering, but he did not never intend for him to be killed.
Yes.
He thought that Jesus would deliver himself from this, and I still got the money for delivery. So when he found out that Jesus was actually going through to be sentenced to death, he's like, I didn't intend for that to happen. I didn't think it would. Here it is again. That voice inside says, you sold your soul to the devil and betrayed the one who you walked with the last 3.5 years. And you done delivered him in the hands to be killed. And you were supposed to be his friend.
Yes.
He brought back the money. Now, it wasn't the Spirit of the Lord talking to him. This is what he reasoned inside because of this inner knowing. He just knew. He knew all the time his action was wrong. Didn't believe it would come that way. So he brought back the money when he realized, wait a minute, they're going to really kill him and hang him. And I was a party to this. I helped set it up. He brought back the silver to the chief priest and the elder, saying, I have did what?
Sin.
By
Betrayed.
God Almighty here. Innocent blood. He already knew Jesus was innocent.
Yes.
Nobody told him. He came to this resolution because we have the capacity. Everybody know. You just
Yes, Lord.
don't play with me. Don't lie to me. You are created in such a way that the truth of the matter is, Kant says, is part of your conscience, your humanity, your godness, your mind, that you have an awareness, a conscience of right and wrong and morality, good and evil and God and judgment. And we come here with this in us. We know it. So with no outside help, the scripture says he was remorseful. He took the money, he brought it back, he threw it down, the silver in the temple, and departed and went out and hung himself because he could not see himself existing no longer with what he would have done. His heart wouldn't let him live based on that action. Now, do you know the truth of the matter is, this is the real truth. Jesus had forgiven him.
Yes, he did.
Because he said, this is done that the scriptures may be fulfilled.
Yes, Lord.
He didn't even have to kill himself. He didn't know. You are fulfilling the scriptures, so it'll be done. I forgave you. Anyway, can I tell you this and I'm going to move on? Half the stuff that you're tripping over, God long forgave you. He knows what's in your heart. He knows know where you are. Y'all all worried about them. God says, I blot out your transgressions. Your sins I will not remember. And then he turned around and said, Isaiah, put me in remembrance of what I said. Call me back and tell me, God, you said you didn't remember. You don't remember nothing. Or the praise that I've done. You know, the truth of that is Jesus understood it as this is the fulfillment of prophecy scriptures. But I forgave you. I wasn't holding it against you. But that's your own conscience under conviction. Because often, you know, the hardest person to forgive is yourself. Because that voice of reason always there saying this and saying that. If you ever get past your own conscience, boy, you can do wonderful, great things. It's your conscience tripping you. And you tripping over stuff that God is like, I don't care about that. I'm more concerned about your soul than about what you've done in this life. Lift your hand right there and say thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Say, I receive that.
Thank you. Yes.
So he did it without a voice coming out of nowhere. His own heart said, that wasn't the right good action right there, but God had long forgiven him. Matthew Poole in his commentary says this, that the conscience of the worst of men, woo, look at Poole here. He said the conscience of the worst of men will not always digest the dirt they do. Woo, Matthew Poole was playing right there. But look what he said. The conscience of the worst of men, of the bad things you do, will not always digest the dirt that they do, but even they sometimes will throw up the poison that they have given to other people. No, well, I'm going to get it to you, but I can't even handle the dirt that I've done. And that's what happened with Judas. That's what Paul said concerning that statement, that even the worst men can't handle the dirt that they do and will sometimes throw up the poison. There's a moment when the worst of us will feel bad about stuff. We'll be sad. And the best of us is the opposite. Our Lord. And Job says, there is a spirit in man, and the breath of the Almighty is the one who gives him understanding. That's to all men. Another amplified translation of that is, the breath of the Almighty gives him understanding. The amplified commentary on that is, the breath of the Almighty gives him an intelligence that makes him accountable. The fact that you're intelligent means you are accountable for what you do. We. Ooh, we. Ooh, we. Maybe that's why some not us, but you know, that people want to stay ignorant, stay in the dark. Because to whom much is given. You say, I want to be smart. The smarter you are, the more required of you. The more God holds you accountable. And he said, all men has a degree of intelligence. And it's the intelligence that makes you accountable. Because at the end of the day, you know when you're right and
Yes, Lord.
Come on, Ray. Come on, say thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
See, that's what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. Is that we have intelligence.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. And Abe can look in the mirror and don't have a proper concept. He knows it's something, but he can't. But man can look in the mirror and he sees his own reflection, and he knows his reflection. He knows that he knows.
Yes, yes, Lord.
God said, it is your intelligence that makes you accountable. And all men have it. So that means all men are accountable for their actions by the fact that they are intelligent.
Yes, Lord.
That's everybody.
Yes.
So to the saved, you're accountable.
Yes.
To the lost, you still accountable.
Yes, come on.
Because if you didn't know, you had the capacity to find out.
Oh.
you, Jesus. All right. Romans, but since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen. Here it is. Being what? Understood. Is this right with mine? Now notice, he says since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood. That's not talking about a divine revelation from the Spirit. That's a natural endowment of capacity, intelligence. Understand? God says, even if I don't speak to you a certain way, in something like that, there's enough within creation through which I have revealed myself that you can naturally deduce that there's something greater than me. And you're accountable to the fact that you are intelligent.
Yes.
He says from the creation, even I, though invisible, my attributes are clearly seen through your understanding of nature, creation, general revelation, especially the word of Christ, general. And by these things by the things that are made, even his eternal power in Godhead, so that they are, there it is again, without excuse. Challenges mean accountability. So all men are without excuse. All right, Romans 2. When Gentiles who did not have a law, that's no Bible, no tablets of stone, no nothing. It's just Gentile, the world apart from Israel and God's revelation to them. When the Gentiles who by the law, who by nature do the things, who have no law, by nature do the things in the law. These although not having the law, are a law unto themselves. They didn't have the voice of the prophet Moses. They didn't have the law of the tablets of stone. But God said they did what was in the law by nature. That's the natural endowment.
All right.
I tell you, that Bible is something else. Just read it.
Yeah.
It's going to show it to you.
Yes.
It's going to open it up. So they didn't have, so that's what goes back to what Jeremiah was talking about. I'm going to write certain things on your conscience.
Come on.
So that even there's no word, no preacher, that you, by your observation of nature, I will still speak to you through nature, and you're going to know something through your understanding.
Yes.
Nature, you're going to know.
Yes.
Because you're made in a way you can do it. On a base level, not spiritual, immortal knowledge. So it says that the law unto themselves, who show the work of the law written in their hearts. That is with Jeremiah right there. Their conscience also bearing witness. Their conscience bearing witness. Look what it says. Accusing or excusing them. This ain't a revelation from the word. This is by nature. A natural understanding.
Yes.
Don't tell me you don't know. No.
Come on. Come on.
Calm down. She a boss.